business with these principles that we have put down and we share with you. And for the rest of you guys, welcome, welcome. And today we will continue. Remember last Sunday that we talked about the most common failures or most common activities or non-activities that people do that will make them fail. And that sounds maybe a little bit negative to just point out the negatives or the failures. But listen, that's when you're going to use your brain to understand to do the opposite. But it's also good to have a mirror, so you can mirror yourself and say, hey, I'm actually doing a little bit of, one of the points that we are talking about, or one or two. So these are just, suggestions not to do these things. But since our brain doesn't understand the word not, so we gotta go into the action, the course of action, to take action and use this as a mirror. Okay, so let's start. And you remember that we talked last time about education. And I will start with this today because I think it's one of the most important things there is. Because I've seen people fail. I've been doing this for way over 30 years now. And I see people fail not because they don't have the chance to succeed, because everyone has a chance to succeed, but they don't realize it. They are self-sabotaging their success. They are self-sabotaging their finances, and they are self-sabotaging their personal development with these traits that we're talking about today, for instance. But so you gotta have a desire to change. You gotta have a burning desire. That's why you gotta find out your why, because your why is gonna be your driving force behind everything. And your desire to change must be greater than your desire to stay the same. And most people, they get a little bit success, and then they are happy, and they say, well, I'm good now. But what they don't realize is that's the first step in self-sabotaging. When you're not setting goals anymore, when you don't have, when you can't see the light in the tunnel, and you're moving forward, because we need to move forward. We need to continue our journey as long as we're here on this planet. So let's start with this. Your desire to change must be greater than your desire to stay the same. And we go back to the amazing Robert Kiyosaki. Focus first on your education, then the money will follow. So if a guy like him has a statement like that, maybe it's something, maybe it's true. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just telling you. And a really important thing to remember when we go through these steps today, and what we did last time, and what we do every Sunday, and we talk about principles, and this is one principle, and that is, people have results in life not by chance, but by the way they think. And they have been taught a special way to think. So people think the way they have been taught to think. And we went through that a little bit last time. I will not go through today, but I will just mention, if you're new here and never been here before, that is, we become like the people we surround ourselves with. We become like the people we hang out with. But you know, since we don't choose, or maybe we do, I don't know. But since we grow up and we don't have a choice, we have our parents, we have our people around we have the people, our friends in the neighborhood. We will become like them. And then one day we break out and say, hey, I don't want to be like them anymore. I think there's more out there. I think there's more in life than just to go to a job and be miserable and don't have any money when there's a lot of months still there to go. So should think about when we listen to the webinar today, when I go through these points, is that same thing. Don't reap by chance, reap what we plant. So if we are doing these failure mechanism and we are honest enough to ourselves to admit it, then we can change, Okay, so let's get started here. The major causes of failure, part 2. The major causes of failure, part 2. You remember we went through a bunch of them last time, and one that's really important, and that is, I will go take that as number 1 today as well, and that is the habit of drifting through life without a definite major purpose. Is probably number 1 cause of failure in people's lives. And you can connect that to goal setting. You can connect that to, if you haven't or understand what a purpose in life is. If you don't understand, you can go and listen to Get Started, or, you can listen to Mindo, where I go through a little bit about the why it's important, how it changes you thinking, and so on. So when you have a purpose, your why, the driving force behind everything, then stuff will become easy. So for people who are struggling, is because they haven't written down, they haven't found out their why. Why are they doing this? Why are they getting up in the morning? Why are they struggling? Why do they have to listen to a webinar like this every Sunday? Because if they don't, it's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb not to get free, super good information to grow yourself and your team, and to use these principles when you're building your team, when you're training your people. But it starts with you. It doesn't start with your downline or the people that you're having in your team. It starts with you. Because if you don't do it, so if you don't do it, they will copy what you do, so they will do nothing. Okay. So the habit of drifting through life, and if we go to the number 1 principle of building a team, and that is duplication. So if you don't have goals, if you don't know why you're doing this, if you don't know why you get up in the morning, your team will not know why. Well, there's 1 or 2 maybe out of 1,000 that actually will break out because they know their why, and they will do it anyway, but that's not how it works. So you got to do it yourself. Okay, so let's go through failure part 2. Indecision, indefiniteness. I don't know, that's a hard word. So, but indecision if you take indecision, it's it's a major cause of failure because when people are indecisive, fear comes along. So indecisive people are full of fear. So you got to train yourself to take action. That's where just do it comes in the picture. So, because when people go, you've seen this, because let's take this example. You present a business to a person and say, hey, you want to join my business? It looks like this. You can make a little bit of extra money, or you can, whatever. And they go like, well, I don't know, maybe I have to think about it, and I have to ask around. And then they go to ask their beer drinking buddies for advice, which is dumb. How can they give advice? Because they've done nothing in their life, and they're sitting there just complaining and be negative. Then you ask them for advice. Oh, I saw this business. What do you think? Oh, don't do that. So that's a kind of an decision. You ask other people for advice all the time. If you're going to ask people for advice, then you want to go to successful people and ask them for advice. But indecision is also, not taking action, not planning, and when you don't plan, you're planning to fail. So when you don't plan to be at these webinars, you're planning to fail. So indecision is so crucial for all business owners, for all people doing any kind of business. You gotta make a decision. You gotta take decision. You gotta be a captain on your ship to be in control. So indecisiveness leads to fear. Remember that. So when people are full of fear, they don't take action, and it goes hand in hand with not be successful. Number 2 of major causes of failure today is overcaution in business or relationship. Overcaution means that it's actually connected to fear, because again, fear comes in the picture. So they're overcaution of everything. Oh no, maybe I shouldn't. Sometimes you just gotta throw yourself out, and pull the string. You gotta do stuff. Just do it. And when you do it, stuff will happen. And then you can make up your mind where you want to go. But overcaution is one of the biggest causes of failure in business. Same thing with overcaution in relationships. So you're too overcautious. You don't trust. Or I'm not saying that you're going to trust everybody that you meet in life, because you got to make up your own mind. But what I mean is, it's not danger in just doing things, small things to get started, or make a decision, or but when you overcaution, nothing will happen. And overcaution people, those are the people that get the crumbles that are left over when the other people have done their thing. And they will be on the lower levels of the Maslow pyramid. So that's number 2. That's a good one. Wrong choice of associates. I know you've never been out for this, but I have many times. When you choose the wrong associates, you associate with the wrong people. It's one of the major causes of failure. So life, look at it this way. That's why doing, it's about becoming. It's about when you're becoming, that's when the attraction starts for other people. You start to become some new, something more. Because you take decisions, because you set goals, because you're taking action, because you're doing something, because you're not overcautious. And then we do stuff, and then we learn. It's all about learning. It's not about becoming best, because you should never compare yourself to anyone except yourself. Compare yourself to what you did last week, last month. If you're better today than you were last month, you're a success. You can't compare. You can use other people as a mark and say, hey, I want to have what that guy have, or I want to do what he's doing, or I want to have at least a little bit of the money that he has. Well, then you have to do what he has done, or she. But the choice of wrong associates is connected with failure. And we are supposed to learn. So when we have done it once, then we're a victim. Once we're a victim. But the second time, we're no victim no more, because we have gone through that process and we know that kind of people that we shouldn't associate with. So now it's our own fault. We make a self-sabotaging choice because we're not following the principles. So it's a really important point. Wrong choice of associates. And here's a good one. Because unsuccessful people is full of fear. Successful people have almost no fear. Not that they are not, in for incidents or problems, but they learned that it's no use. It doesn't help them to be fearful, full of fear, because fear is an emotion. So it's about solving the problem, being in control of the situation instead of being fearful. So this is one of the major causes, one or more of the basic fears. Fear of poverty, fear of ill health, fear of criticism, and there's many more. But the basic fears is that one of the basic fears, also I didn't put it down here, but one of the basic fears is not to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be respected and loved and be seen. So if we carry around that fear, we will actually produce those circumstances. Because to think is to create. So we think about fear, we think about poverty, ill health, and criticism. That's what we're going to get. So that's what we need to change our mindset to the opposite, like I started this webinar. Okay? So this is major cause of failure, walking around with one or more of the basic fears. And remember, when we talk about these major causes, like I said in the beginning, just do the opposite. Just do the opposite. So, choice of wrong associate. Then choose another associate that's not like the one that you had before. Or team member. Anyway, so, and of course, let's do this. Let's stay here for a minute. So if you're building a team and you're looking for people to build your team with, and you have a lot of people that are full of fear, they're not taking action, it's a lot of talk, no action, they don't set goals, and it's just talk, I want to make money, but they do no presentation, they don't show up for meetings, that's a wrong associate. Major cause of failure. Easy, huh? And then you go, well, where should I find? Well, that's the purpose of building a team. You interview people when you start working with them, or you lay down the rules. Say, hey, if you're going to work with me, these are the rules. And then they have to change. So if they're full of fear, they dreams, you have to help them become the new person. That's the purpose of being a leader. Okay, so let's get back to this. Wrong choice of vocation or neglect of even making a choice. So, same principle as indecisiveness, indecision. So, wrong choice or neglect even making a choice. And why do people make wrong choices? Well, that's what the starting point today, because we have been taught to think in a certain way. We become like the people we spend most of the time around. So nothing happens by chance. Nothing happens by chance. Things happen, but nothing happens by chance. So this is one of the major causes: wrong choice of vocation or neglect of even making a choice. Oh, here's a good one. I see people come to seminars and they do anything but listen to the people who have experience. You know? They listen to the wrong people. They spend more time listening to stuff that's not important. Like, you know, of course it's important, but please understand me. When I started my first venture, when I built my first business, my first direct sales business, I didn't even know how the compensation plan worked. I had no clue. You know what I did? I just worked. I just put people in, and the money stopped coming. I had no clue how it worked. I'm not saying that you should have a clue, but what I'm saying is lack of concentration, you know, of making an effort to, like, you are in control, you make the choices. So this is discipline. To be disciplined. To know who to listen to. So you're in a seminar and you're spending more time getting coffee outside or talking to your neighbor at the table, or you're listening more to explanation of, you know, compensation plans or stuff, and you're missing out the good stuff because lack of concentration is a major cause. So you gotta discipline yourself to concentrate on the things that are important. This I've seen so many times. I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. And that is, and it's okay, you know, we're here to learn, but it's better to learn from other people's mistakes than your own. So, major cause of failure: not having a budget at all, or overspending the budget that you have. Most people don't have a budget. What's a budget? Well, it's easy. You have money coming in, and you have money going out. You got to be in control of the money coming in and the money going out. So when you're not in control, and that one, credit cards is seriously damaging people because they're not in control. They can't see the numbers, and then the bill comes every month, and they go like, "What? Did I? What? These numbers?" Because they can't see. That's why cash is king. I know. We're losing cash. We're not, you know, we're in a digital world with crypto and, you know, cash, but still the principle. Then you have to go back to the principle and use all your digital currency and all your, you know, credit card numbers that you don't see. Like, you're going to use it like cash. So you take a note every time you spend, or you have a certain number that you need to not overspend, or you have a certain sum of money that you can spend every month. That's a budget. But people, they start making money and they start buying like crazy, and all of a sudden they have a lot of material stuff, but they don't have no money. And you can't eat cars, you can't eat jewelry. You can sell your jewelry, of course, but you can't eat jewelry. You can't eat luxury stuff. You can't eat clothes, fancy, expensive clothes. I'm not saying that you're not gonna, spend on yourself. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, don't overspend it. Don't overspend. Have a budget. And we have been teaching at this webinar about the 60-30-10. I will not go into it today, but I can mention it. 60-30-10 is when you have the money that comes in, you always save 10%. Extra. Then you give away 10%. Then you save another 20, and then you have 60 left over to make your business go around. For paying bills and spending, but people who always save money will always be successful because they know by mistake they spend too much, and Anyway, so the habit of not having a budget. The habit. You see that word comes again. The habit. We have habits. We have bad habits, and then we have to create new good habits. So a habit of not having a budget expected is the major cause of failure. And of course, time management. Major cause of failure is to not have and not to budget your time or use your time properly. People who waste time, because time is the most valuable thing. You will never get it back. Use every minute, every hour, every day with discipline, planning, setting your goals, following your plan, making those calls, do personal development, educate yourself. So this is, I've seen it so much. This is why we say that we have I have the expression. You take advice from your beer drinking buddies. It's just an expression. It's not that everybody drinks beers, but it's an expression about people who are wasting their time drinking beer in front of the television, watching sports, or hanging out in bars. Instead of using that time, of course, there's time for party and having fun. There's always time, but some people do it way too much and then they're not successful. So failure to budget your time or using your time management. I will probably do a webinar on time management if you want to. I've done a couple in the years, but it's been a long time, so maybe we should do one again. Oh, here's a good one. Major cause of failure: lack of controlled enthusiasm. So, you can control your feelings. Of course you can. That's the whole purpose of living. Learning how to control your feelings. Because the major cause of failure is not to control your feelings. The unsuccessful people, they show their feelings to everyone all the time. They don't control them. But this is enthusiasm. And enthusiasm is so important. Because enthusiasm, it's contagious. And you have to control your enthusiasm. That means that you can You can be enthusiastic whenever you want to. And you can show that enthusiasm like an energy force. And people want to follow people who know where they're going, who are happy, joyous, and free, and who are enthusiastic. And I used that before, and for the people who don't have a higher power or don't have anything, this is not an insult to you, but the word enthusiasm comes from the word in theos. Theos is God, and in means. So when you're enthusiastic, God is in you. So whatever that means. This is not a religious thing, but there are people who doesn't have a belief yet. So, but I'm just telling you the facts. This is not my opinion. This is facts. So in Latin, it means in theos. So when you're enthusiastic, it means God is in you. So if you're not enthusiastic, who is in you then? I don't know. But enthusiasm, who cannot be enthusiastic when other people are enthusiastic? Well, if you have a negative mindset, if you haven't learned yet to be humble and to open up, to have an open mind. So this is one of the major causes of failure: lack of controlled enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is so important in business. And it connects us to the next one, which is failure to cooperate with others in a spirit of harmony. Some people have huge egos. Everyone has. I'm not talking about the positive side of being a doer, an entrepreneur, which people think is ego. No, it has nothing to do with that. Ego is negative. Ego is edging God out. That means that people, they do only what, for themselves, and they don't care about others. They don't have empathy. They don't treat others with respect, and so on and so on. They manipulate others. They lie. They steal. All those bad stuff, that you should move away from with your personal development. And this is one of the biggest failures, to cooperate with others in a spirit of harmony. Does not mean that you have to be a doormat or do what others say all the time. It just means that you have to cooperate. Cooperate with others in a spirit of harmony. If you fail to do that, that's one of the major causes of failure in any business. So guys, those were the steps today, and just go the extra mile. That's what it takes. People who don't go the extra mile will never make it. You got to do the extra, otherwise you're just ordinary, like everyone else. You got to do the extra to be extraordinary, and go out in the world, take these principles, help people, go out in the world and change the world one person at a time. And remember, be happy, joyous, and free. Most of all, free. And I'll see you all next Sunday.